Commissioners meeting for Tuesday, April 2nd. Abby, please call the roll.
Mr. Emmerich?
Here.
Mr. Harrelson? Mrs. Anderson?
Here.
All righty. Next, we'll go into approval of the minutes from our March 5th meeting. Is there any additions or subtractions or deletions from those minutes? Hearing none, I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
All right. Hearing a first and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion approved. Moving to our reports. Mr. Drake.
Yeah, good afternoon. Nothing to add to my report. I do have a couple updates. First, North Market softball field. That backstop and plaza area is finished. Waiting on another set of steps to go in and a little bit of handrail work, and I think that area will be usable. They have been having games as scheduled there, so that's moved along nicely. Pickleball courts at Duke Park, all of our in-house work has been completed. We installed the new net post sleeves in the ground and concreted those in Friday. So we are ready for asphalt, and I'm told the plant will open April 22nd, and I just contacted the paving company today, so they're aware. So hopefully the last week of April or so, they can get in and get those paved, and we can continue to keep that project rolling forward. And lastly, the toddler playground at Duke Park has been installed. We are waiting on some final apparatus, some steps, and another piece to be added to that, and that'll be completed, and we'll get that mulched and get that open. Other than that, I just want to welcome Dan Myers to our crew. Unfortunately for Ken and Hobart Arena, he transferred over. It's a win for us and a loss for him, and just want to welcome Dan to our crew, and he's already fitting in nicely and doing a nice job, so I want to commend him for that. Awesome. That's all I have.
Any other questions for Mr. Drake? Mr. Seiler.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I don't really have anything to add to the report. I'll just hit on a couple items in new business.
Okay. Any questions at all?
No.
I don't know about ours. Okay. We'll go over. Mr. Boer, I know you just sat down.
Yes.
But do you have anything to add to your report?
No, nothing specific to add. Weather in March was, I would say, slightly above average, so it was a good month for the golf course. Obviously, we're getting a little bit of rain, and actually had to close a little early today looks like the water's coming across Rutherford Drive right now, so we'll see what tomorrow brings.
Okay. All righty. And then I have nothing from the Planning Commission. We'll move on to new business. The first item is the request for the use of the levee, or the gazebo at the top of the levee. Who's here to speak on that?
I'll take care of that. So as we do for most any event that's requesting park facilities, we have a facility request use application that we go through. This particular one is just a little different. That's why I bring it to the park board, just so you're aware of the event itself that's taking place. It'll be a worship service that will be taking place on the top of the levee on Sunday, September the 22nd from 5 to 8 p.m. They've done it one other time on the levee about 10 years ago. It was the first time they had held this event. They do this annually. They've also held it at Treasure Island Park. So they've submitted their paperwork for it. Really doesn't require any city services. They set up their own stage and do their own sound and everything else. So nothing really required from our end of things. They also will plan to have probably a couple of food trucks that will be down on the lower levee between the levee and the stadium, but we'll make sure that they're fulfilling all the requirements that the city has with regard to food trucks for that part of the event as well. And then the other item that I have, it's not listed under new business, just another event that, again, we would require the facility request paperwork to be filled out. I'm working with the Miami County Veteran Services office with regard to an event that's scheduled to be held at the arena on Saturday, August the 24th. Will be a informational symposium for veterans just to provide them with information related to services that are available to them, which will also include some speaking engagements out in the main arena and also a small concert event as well. But in addition to that, they're planning to do some events across the street at the city park during the afternoon, starting probably about 12:30. We've reserved several shelters for them. They're gonna have some obstacle courses and some game trucks and tag type of laser tag events and those kind of things. So just something else that'll be happening kind of in conjunction with the event that we're in the process of working with them on at the arena on that same day.
Sure. So, any questions
No.
for Mr. Seiler? Okay, I'll make a motion to approve the it's September 22nd through 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. For the declare on the levee on the gazebo. And then the second item was the Miami County Veterans Info Symposium, and I did not get that date. I'm sorry, what was that date?
It's Saturday, August the 24th.
Saturday, August 24th, pending the use of pending the facility required paperwork is filled out appropriately.
Oh,
So,
I will second.
all right. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Approved. Abby, anything else you need on that one? Okay. And the next item we have on the agenda here is the presentation by Troy City Skate Park Unite for the design of the new skate park. So I think with that, we're going to have a presentation,
Yeah,
Jeremy?
we'll go ahead and drop that screen
Okay.
down, and I don't know if, Matt, you wanted to come forward first, or how you want to get started?
Yeah, do that.
Ooh,
We'll have
You're
that. I'll speak up
Oh,
real quick. Sorry about that.
Okay, sorry. Jump the gun.
Well, first I want to thank you guys for taking the time to see what we're doing. I know that Jeremy has spoken to you before and given you some backstory about us, but, so yeah, my name is Matt Williams. I'm a resident of Troy. I actually live right down the street here in the historic district. 2 kids. I've lived here since '89. I've been skateboarding my entire life, essentially. I mean, I'm 47 years old. Started when I was like 10 or 11 years old. So I've been fortunate to work in the skateboard industry, and you know, as I've gotten older, really broadened my mind as to how a skate park impacts the community. And when I saw the need for a new skate park based on just the condition that I know you are all aware is in, I met with Jeremy, and things have just sort of escalated from there. So we've been raising funds since 2019. We recently set everything up as a nonprofit in August of just last year, and since that time we've received multiple grants, one of which is why we sit here today, is we received a grant for a concept design. And this design we're going to present to you, just want to emphasize that this is putting notes on paper, and it allows us to present something to the city, the community, to gain feedback. You know, by no means is this a final thing, but it's a way that we can start the process, get the feedback, because everyone here, everyone in this community has as much say. You know, we're not trying to dictate what happens here. This is about the community. We're building a skate park in a park. So it's not just about skateboarding, it's about really reaching the community as a whole. So anyway, so I have Platform Group here with me. They've been designing skate parks for 25 years. Just have a wealth of knowledge. Everyone on our team is really, brings a really good skill set to what we're trying to do here to help the community. A lot of, you know, from the business side to skateboarding itself and beyond that. So that said, I want to introduce Ryan Clemens.
Hey, good afternoon.
Hey.
Nice to see everybody.
Yeah.
I know Matt from many years ago, working with him in skateboarding, and I've been skateboarding myself since I was 12 years old, and working in the industry for 25 years. I'm the owner of 3 agencies that work together. The Border does events and consulting for brands. Excel Management manages and represents pro skateboarders, and Platform designs and builds skate parks, which is why we're here today. Our group has an in-depth working knowledge of Matt and everything he's trying to do right now, and it's been really fun working with Troy City Skate Park Unite for several months now to be able to present this concept. So we're excited to show you what we have, and I want to turn it over to my business partner. Where is he? Tito, and who I met in 1990. maybe? Yeah, that, 35 years ago? 88, yeah, many years ago. Peter and I have been working together, for the past few years together, but have been friends and skating together since the 80s, so. Thank you,
Excellent.
guys.
Awesome.
Well, my name's Peter Parada. I've been skating since 1985, so a few years after that. We were 15 years old skating, you know, in Tampa and all that. I'm from Orlando. I've been designing and building skate parks globally for over 24 years, all over the place, lots of municipalities, lots of procurement differences, so we got a lot of knowledge that we'd love to bring into the table. I started working, you know, with Ryan when we started Platform in 2022. So as far as intro, that's it. And then Matt, you got another spot here, but we already talked about stuff. So
Yeah, I just wanted to explain, you know, I came to some earlier meetings, and as I've learned how this process goes, I realized, like, there's a lot of homework to be done, and I didn't want to show up to a meeting with questions I couldn't answer. And there's still some questions that we're not going to be able to answer simply because we need to refine this concept based on community feedback so that we can tie in, you know, what does this cost? But we don't want to really think about that at this point. We want to think about this is our dream, this is our vision, and we want to help and educate. And, you know, part of the connection that Jeremy and I have had throughout this relationship is that there has been a very big disconnect between the skateboard community, the action sports wheel community, and it's resulted in, you know, a lot of great things. I mean, there's not near the amount of, like, you know, vandalism, the trash. You know, we set up certain times where we go out to the park, and if there is any vandalism or anything like that, you know, the skateboarders and the people who are using the park are there painting it. So oftentimes, you know, these things are, you know, people sort of point the finger at the people who are using it for doing it. And so I think it's just, you know, that's why it's called Troy City Skate Park Unite, is we need to come together and understand, you know, each perspective and think outside of, you know, from my side, being a skateboarder, I always call it thinking outside of just skate brain. Like, it's not about just me and what I want for my skateboard community. It's about, you know, the onlooker. You know, that park is right there on the bike path, so it's a perfect intersection for onlookers, and they're on their bikes. Sure. So we've come up with a great design concept. We're excited to share it with you, and again, I thank you for taking the time to check it out.
Before we get into that, I just want to say, you know, I've been on the board 6-7 years, something like that, and I know Al Capris was there before me, and I know that you've worked hand in hand with Jeremy just, you know, throughout my tenure with the board, and I mean, I just know you've done such an amazing job with, you know, doing what you can with the Joe Riordan Skate Park. So I just want to say thank you very much on behalf of me and the other board members who aren't here, or the people who were there previously, because everything we hear about you and the things that you have done with that park have been amazing. I know about the cleanup efforts. I know about you know, some of the events that you guys have put on in the past. So you know, we try to make sure that we can accommodate that in any way possible. And you know, thank you for you know, we're very blessed to live in Troy, Ohio. We have you know, people in the community that you know, take so much pride that, you know, they bring a project like this before us. So I'm excited, but I want to say thank you before we get into all that.
That does mean a lot. So I appreciate it, and you know, we got a ways to go with this,
Yeah.
but we're in it for the long haul, and we're here to help with the current park and maintenance and the kind of things we've already been doing. So yeah, I'll turn it back over to Tito here.
We can move over, give you some space. Yeah. Thank you, sir. All right. Scoot over. This girl? Okay, perfect. All right.
one of them just turns this section.
Is that okay, you think?
Oh, there you go. All right, hi everyone. Troy, Ohio Skate Park Design Concept. Matt did a great job at explaining that this is, I like to tell people this is a drawing. They're not construction documents. It's basically a tool for us to engage thinking and ideas. So I want to encourage everyone here that if you have anything that you want to add on that you don't see, this is the purpose of this. So it could be now or later. We're also going to have a survey online to get additional input. That Matt will have the code, I believe it's platformgroup43.com/Troy. And so, everyone's encouraged to add your 2 cents or any ideas. Before we start, I want to kind of get that going. So,
Tito, how long will that survey be live?
The entire process, we'll let TCSU really be in control of that because, he's very connected to the community, so we really will, he'll communicate with you guys or, however long you guys want.
Sure.
And then it's also going to have another phase from, that we're going to show all the stuff that comes about from this meeting and other technical input meetings, and when this concept gets developed further, then that'll also be updated on the same link.
Jeremy, is there any way we can work with like Sue or something like that to get that link out there so we get responses?
Yeah. And we can provide like any links or any, anything to help.
Sure.
So moving along, this is the site. So this is where the levee is, and then obviously the parking's the same spot where the other parking is. Just gonna go around. Skate park's roughly 24 to 26,000 square feet, a mixture of street and some transition elements on this top part, including a bowl. Pump tracks, we have 3 different pump tracks, so we want to show different levels, and also obviously that connection to your super strong bike community, and really to emphasize the multi-disciplines that are going to be utilizing this. So the skate park slab, since it's old, we just talking about removing it. We put a multi-use building that could be for bathrooms or whatever programming your department chooses to initiate in there. And to also show, we don't want it to just be action sports block, right? So we put a yoga pad that you'll see in the concept. We assuming a pond of some sort to kind of mitigate any stormwater issues that might arise. That'll be, assessed through the civil engineering side of things. And then obviously trying to get trails and connections and, and all kinds of angles. The street course is right here. These are the 3 houses that are currently within that block. And then we even threw a basketball court. I know this is, finding out this is a levee, so you probably can't construct a seat wall like this, but, natural rocks and things like that also work for, seating. But it's such a great embankment. It's like a natural, little bleacher there. So this is just to carry you to the process. Our landscape architect did this wonderful sketch, just to explore it. We work on that pump track, the area. It just has these cool dynamics and shapes. So we started with this, and then basically we came out with this concept. See the pond and everything in here, the bowl. We're obviously trying to work around the trees that are worth keeping, and because that free shade is free shade, right? And those big cottonwoods can, I don't like replacing a tree with like a very expensive, shelter per se, unless it's something purposeful like this building. Carrying you through. So I know there's a tree that was a memorable tree that would probably be here, yoga pad, little pond, maybe a little boardwalk, just to kind of encourage stuff. There's stuff that you're not going to see, that we want to see, but, we want to encourage people, like more seating, trash receptacles, things of that nature. Someone mentioned picnic tables, barbecue. We want all that. We want this to be a place that you can want to walk around and see all the action, not just for the action sports enthusiasts, but also like, just regular folk. Just a nice place. This one of the pump tracks. It shows the entrance on, you're gonna notice that we're trying to honor the linear aspects of street skating. Something that currently everyone's putting, skate parks in these, rectangular boxes or square boxes, and that's not inherent. That also comes from the prefab early days that put, unused tennis courts, with ramps, and that's just not natural. So we're just bringing it back and, you know, thinking towards the proper way of, having street. The bowl here towards close to the pond for, you know, drainage purposes and whatnot. You see a lot of, you know, rails and boxes, manual pads, but, you know, low elevations. Ultimately, the height of street courts is only a 1 foot to 3 foot. So, you know, you maintain a good, line of sight throughout the park, so it feels safe, it looks safe, and it's skate safe. This is the other angle coming into the park. Now, look how cool this looks, like, all you know, within the trees, all kinds of trails, different options, nice and lively, enough, you know, not doing a big mass impervious slab, you know, just keeping the grass, you know, a place you just want to hang out at. So, you know, different features, all these things are, you know, completely, you know, they're just all fun elements and all custom. If you notice, we don't have those vertical walls and everything. Nice open grade up to slab. You know, so in an event or a parent that wants to be around, they have access in all angles. So it's a really comfortable, fun-looking place. You see the pump track to the left, more of the street course, you know, and we'll just go down. Lots of, you know, stairs, mani pads, ledges, step-ups. Those are a bunch of skate terms. The end, you have a, you know, nice little mini ramp, kind of more obstacle street type area. And, you know, and that pretty much summarizes the design. So, you know, again, from the top view, we got the multi-use building. We have, you know, little yoga slab. It could be for multi-use as well, but we're seeing a lot of people, you know, like skate parks in the day being put on tennis courts. A lot of people are doing yoga in the park and just, what, you know, places that aren't designated for that. But that's just one of the many, you know, ideas we want to encourage people to think about, because it's not just a skate park. It's really a master plan for this block that includes a skate park and other action sports elements. Those are the pump tracks towards the edge, connected to the trail purposely. This is, you know, a top view of the pond. You know, again, civil engineering will dictate that. Another idea that came up, hey, if we don't need a pond that large, a really cool adaptive, friendly playground. You know, we can't have enough playgrounds, you know, and so, you know, the basketball court, make it lively, make it artsy, make it fun. You know, and again, bringing that diversity within the park. So with that pretty much concludes this, and I'm just gonna, open it to a Q&A, for you guys, and I'll play a video during that Q&A.
Sure. No, I think it's awesome. So, you know, what is your kind of envisioning on next steps? Like, where are you at? I know this is a complete concept drawing, right? But what is kind of the next steps in your journey?
The next steps is, here, let me start this real quick just so you guys can see it. So next steps is really taking input, getting a lot of the data, you know, the survey's gonna let you know, like, who's from town and who's from the, you know, per zip code, who's from there, what do they practice. You'll get a good data on bikes, scooters, roller skates, all that stuff. Ultimately, there's a non-motorized wheel, you know, thing. You know, so we don't wanna say this is a skate park or no bikes, but opposite. This is gonna be very, you know, bike heavy. Bikes love street courses like this. They don't ever get them. Skaters don't get street courses like this. So we're trying to do something good that'll last for a long time. In regards to lasting a long time, maintenance is really just trash. These things are beautiful and they're built like tanks. So the whole purpose of that is so that, you know, they have to withstand the abuse that, you know, you get through skating. We've all seen skating kind of damage a lot of things around town. Well, this is built to withstand that damage, but also keep its look. So these things are almost maintenance-free. So mowing the lawn, maintenance, taking the trash on a busy park, that's always a good thing.
From a maintenance standpoint, like knowing the square footage and the pump track size, like, do you have like a time study, or you think it'll be 20 hours a week maintenance, or do you have any idea of what that would look like for a park that size?
It's really based on participation, but, I mean, these are the numbers, compared to like, let's say a Little League.
Yeah.
That in Florida, where I'm from, full year use, because no snow, right? You're looking at, 5,000 users max, right? Skate parks like this, 30 to 70,000 users. So, because there's no start or stop on the game, you know, so, I mean, on the use of the facility. So, as far as the trash is concerned, it's, you know, it's, things like that, you know,
Yeah.
just a busy park.
Yeah.
So, Tony Hawk Foundation, has, they say, 1 to 2%, maintenance and operations. Any repair stuff, it's usually more maintenance prevention stuff that, you know, penetrating sealers and things like that to keep, if you see the course, a slab right now, it's kind of like chunky, kind of like rip tape almost.
Yeah, yeah.
Like sandpaper, and it's because the acid rain comes in, and it eats it from the inside, and it loses that cream. So, for something like this, we actually, use a real sustainable, environmentally friendly product it's called Evercrete, that goes into the ground and creates a thin layer on the outside and maintains that look, so that surface texture, like, nice and smooth for decades to come. So proper maintenance is you know, it's basically for that, it's somewhere around here, it'd be like once every 2 years, you know, and it's fairly inexpensive to do, and we could train your public works department to simply handle that as well. And you also have a bunch of really cool builders here that have done that stuff for a while. Yeah, any other questions?
Jeremy?
Tito, can you touch on, so what kind, I know you mentioned, like a wheel park, not just a skate park, but a wheel park. So what kind of, other than skateboards, what else do you see using this kind of a park? Or
So-
the pump track and
Yeah.
features?
Great question. Bikes are different disciplines. Skateboards are also different disciplines. So we have street, transition, and we have pump track. All those can get used by skateboards. Roller skating is pretty huge right now. Scooters, pretty trendy right now. Inline skates, and skateboards. That's, you know, anything else?
You do, within BMX, you're gonna have actual BMX bikes and then mountain bikes on top of that. And the thing about pump tracks and for all these obstacles is that it's very beginner friendly, but they're also designed to be challenging throughout the progression of a skateboarder's skill set. So as you're getting better, these obstacles are still good the whole way through your whole career. You can ride these things as an absolute beginner, someone at a pro level, or someone that's over the hill skateboarding and still riding around.
That's actually a very good point. Thank you, Ryan.
Yeah.
So the beauty of street courses, and the reason why they're larger, is that the kids that just started skating, and, you know, the pro of street skating, they skate the same thing, because a lot of these features, it's really the maneuver, not the features themselves, that become the challenge. You know, a lot of people sadly don't understand that. That's why everything's nice and mellow. It's all about that trick. So you have, you know, the experience of the users having, you know, sitting next to a pro, it's something they'll never forget. Ultimately, better quality of life and for a better experience for your citizens and visitors alike. When people come here to skate, because it's a well-designed, built wheel access sports park, you know, a skate park, you know, people come here to practice, not to lurk around because they're bored and obsolete old features. They're there to, you know, the good people come, and then the local people feel better, and parents are not having to drive all over the place to take their kids to play.
So obviously there's a survey that needs to be done here, we need to get some feedback, but like what do you imagine, like, Matt, I don't know if this is a question for you, like the pull being from like the area? I mean, like where, do you see people coming from like Sydney to use this? Do you see people like, I mean,
A lot of people coming from other states. I mean, this park, I mean, the most comparable thing I can say on this park is, if you're familiar with the skate plaza, the Rob Dyrdek Skate Plaza in Kettering.
Yeah.
That was sort of the first of its kind as far as emulating street plaza style things, because really skateboarders, well, a lot more in my generation we all grew up skating in the streets. That's why when you drive around town, you see those skateboard signs. I mean, I probably did that, sorry. But, that being said, you know, that's why these parks are designed this way now. Like, there's elements with everything, like Tito said. There's transition elements, you know, for that guy that likes to skate a big bowl or pool or whatever like that. Then you've got, it's just a very broad way, and like he said, it's sort of timeless. So, did I answer your question?
No, that's it. I mean, I was just gonna ask.
Yeah. It's just sort of, I think a lot of people that start doing these activities, you know, they're not necessarily doing it, they don't start doing it at a skate park necessarily. They might start doing it in the streets or in their driveways or whatever. So this just provides all of those elements in a timeless way that you know, action sports has just blown up to the point now where it's an Olympic thing. You know, it's accepted on the world stage, and you're seeing parks in our neighboring communities. There's one that just was built in there's Northridge, Huber Heights. Anyway, if you just kind of look in our neighboring communities, you'll see that there's been a lot of emphasis on these activities. And, you know, to me, Troy has got the best park system in the area. You know, we have a ton of great parks, and to me, like, having a park that, you know, just adds to that catalog, you know, I look at this too as a destination spot, you know, for people well outside of Ohio. So, anyway.
How do these other, like Northridge, you mentioned Northridge, Huber Heights, some of these others, Kettering, how do those parks compare to the vision here? Or is it the same kind of thing?
Well, for example, the one in Huber Heights is a modular thing where it's similar to like the Troy Skate Park, where they're taking metal fabricated ramps and, you know, it's like building a Subway sandwich.
So this
it's
would
like
be
taken out of
unique.
Yeah. So this is more something that's like, it hits all of those points with more of a home run. You know, those metal fabricated ramps. I mean, we can all look at it here in our own town that they can be dangerous at some point. I know that we've talked about the seams and stuff like that, but anyway, there's a lot of ways you can do it, but to do it in the most broad way you can, so that you're reaching the non-skateboarder, the onlooker. I think people are naturally drawn to want to watch people do this. So, but yeah.
Yeah, so one of, just to add on, you know, if you notice, we don't, like, those ramps have backs with rails, and like, for example, parents, with this, we have a grade up to slab with no rail. So, you know, if you have a kid falls on the deck of a quarter pipe, now you gotta, like, get over there, but there's action, there's people skating, your kid's hurt, you know, like, here you can walk, like, all angles to every single part of the park. That actually also champions the neurodivergent, adaptive type user. So it's really inclusive, and there's a lot of opportunity to kind of have even a greater reach to your community. So, you know, when you need a chaperone for whatever reason, or you're even a blind skater, you know, there's legends that are extra long. So, you know, the guy with the stick, that, yes, they skate, they have the length to engage, and also street skaters want that too. The color concrete, that gives the little shadows and differences, so they know on a sunny day they can see the difference between what's flat and what's an embankment or a quarter pipe. So there's a huge factor in this design to reach that sector of our populace. And also good for brands.
Well, thank you very much. Jeremy, is there anything from your side at all, or Mona, any other questions you have? Yeah, I can take right off. Anything from the audience, I guess, since I don't know if it's everybody's first time seeing this, and granted it's a concept?
I have a public comment.
Yeah.
My name is John Hager. I am the Executive Director of Mentoring Partnership in Ramsey County. I also volunteer at a nonprofit that focuses on skateboarders in the community. I think this is a huge need for our community. We see we go out to the park every week in the summer, and we see probably 40 kids there plus every single day. Anytime that it's sunny or hot, we're seeing people there, which is a lot more than I see at the other parks. I have kids as well, and you see that during a baseball game, sure, but you don't see that the rest of the year. The skate park gets a lot more use than all the other parks, from what I'm seeing, on just a general everyday basis. This is a huge improvement over what we have now. I talk to a lot of the parents that are out there, and the parents are like, there's nowhere to go to the bathroom. There's nowhere to sit down. My kids are able to hide behind the ramps. There's kids over there. This addresses a ton of those issues, and I believe this is a huge need for our community and for all the people that live here. And it would be a very, very well-used park.
Ms. Host, comment?
I'll add this in. I've built a couple of these. These guys.
Yep, sorry. Yeah, that'd be helpful for us, sorry.
I was just gonna answer, you were talking about where people would come from. I live in Dayton. These are my buddies. I've built a couple of these. There's not a lot that I'd drive that far to go back to. I've driven pretty far to go skate a park like this. And so if that answers that question, I figured I'd just chime that in.
Can we get your name?
Yep, Landy, Collada.
Kelly Snyder, I'm the director of the Troy Rec, and I've been working with Matt for a couple of years now to get this kind of up and running, and really the work he's put into this is amazing. And a lot of the kids that come to the rec are skaters, and so for us to have another space for them to go to is, you know, that just fits our mission, even though it's not our nonprofit. So I just am 100% supportive of this skate park and what it can do for our kids. And when I think about sports for kids, we usually think of the organized sports, and this is something that is available to kids that aren't into those organized sports. And to have something else for them to do that is active, they're not sitting on their phones, they're not, you know, doing all those things that we claim they do all the time, right? They're out there perfecting a skill that none of us can probably do, right? And I'm going to point on Damon just because I know him so well. I've watched this kid since he was in 6th grade, and he is phenomenal. He's a phenomenal athlete. But because he doesn't play traditional sports, people don't know that. You go and watch him, and you will see the athlete in him. And that's why I am 100% behind this, because it helps those kids that may not fit into other sports. And I think it's really important that we have something for them too. So,
Thank you.
you can tell I'm kind of passionate about this.
John Ernst with Ernst Concrete, and I just wanted to just mention Matt and Derek. They contacted me like 5 years ago and said, hey, would you bring a truck out, because we want to do just an awareness thing. And so we brought a truck out. The next year they said we want to buy helmets and elbow pads and stuff, so we helped them with a fundraiser, brought a truck out. And these guys, they just keep coming back, you know, and they just keep coming back, and they really want this mission, so their intensity is good. And then 2 weeks ago I went to our National Ready Mix Association meeting, so that's all over the country, got very good ready mixers all over. And they're starting a campaign because they know skateboarders, they like concrete. They think they do. But they also want to attract skateboarders. And, you know, when I talked to our director, they think their thing is they like skateboarders because they have appreciation for riding on concrete. They love the outdoors, they're creative, they're problem solvers. They don't want to sit behind a desk. They're loyal. They like to work out problems. They create courage by doing more things, so they're willing to challenge themselves. And so that our whole association thinks it's a great pool of employees for the future for the ready mix industry. So we're actually, as a nationwide organization, trying to pursue skateboarders for their possession of skills. So,
Thank you for your time.
Tito, I have just one question, more from a design concept. Is everything, just so I know what I'm looking at, like, is everything in light green, is that intended to be like artificial turf?
What we use, good question, the light, because we're in the early concept stage, and actually, really good question, we just wanted, that area will have to drain separately.
Yeah.
So there's many ways to drain something, but we let the geotechnical analysis and solution, and the geotechnical, survey and analysis really guide us to do those things, as well as, eventually a civil, and people within the city that know your land best. And so, what we're trying to do is create something that's maintenance-free, so you'll see, like, a lot of these contracts, in the skate parks, you try to minimum 4 to 1, so we don't anger your maintenance lawn guys, right?
Sure.
And then, but contracts that haven't been doing that much, so we try to make sure that those also have, smoother grades and things like that. So if we have to go tight, then artificial turf can come in and it's really good. So all those things we'll take into account.
Sure.
But being in the concept phase is, right now, it's just like, showing you the land and the shapes, and we really want to emphasize landscaping. So it's not just putting a slab and forget about it, the cow path going into it. We want it to be, a really fun park. So,
Thanks.
a good looking park.
Yeah.
Thank you, it is.
Thanks.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
I might need, there you go. Yeah, get out of here. All right.
Well, I guess, unless anybody else has anything they want to add to this?
Come on up to the mic.
Yep. Daddy, this is my father.
I don't want to embarrass my son at all, but he has a great passion for what's going on here, obviously. It speaks for itself. When we first moved to Troy a number of years ago, as I've been around the world, and I have been about everywhere, but I've never driven down a street that screamed out progress like Troy does. This is an entirely different place. It's a place that has a very different mindset, and it's obviously being well run. And this just jumps right out of you driving down the street. This sport, what Matt is trying to do here, if it's not already obvious to you, it is to me, he's giving these kids a face, he's giving them a voice, he's bringing good people together to create more good. This park will be not only a magnet for these kids, but it's going to be a magnet for the whole city. If it's well done and put up and the aesthetics and so forth, there won't be anything like this for miles around. And it can be used for a lot of diverse issues. You don't have to just skating and so forth. Bring the kids down here and run the wheelchairs and whatever, whoever wants to do anything, again, if it's attractive, they're going to come. But I will say that it's not going to do any good to say no to Matt or to these kids because they'll be back. It doesn't work that way.
Well, we appreciate it.
But I just wanted to leave that message because I've watched it from day one. He's my boy. I'm totally proud of him. He knows what he's doing, and it's a good work. Yeah. It's a real good, clean work. And whenever there's an opportunity to snatch up a good, clean work, in this day and age, when these kids are running around there in a very hostile, drug-infested environment, it deserves some thinking. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, okay, well, thanks, everyone. I appreciate your time, and, yeah, thank you.
Abby's gonna need your dad's name, Matt.
Your dad's name real quick.
Your dad's name.
Oh, that
just for a
Dan
minute.
Williams. Sorry. Following this event, just, if you guys do want to, form any questions in your mind between now and 6 o'clock, we're meeting over at the rec for a public forum so that people can talk to the designers, ask questions, give feedback, so you're all welcome to come. And, I really appreciate you giving us this time. I know we went probably further than maybe we should have, but I really appreciate it. I think everybody in this room does, and thank you.
Yeah, no, thank you very much for your comments, and I know you've kept, Jeremy, abreast as you kind of updated throughout this process, and we just ask that continued communication, so it's exciting stuff, so thank you so much for being here.
Thank you very much.
Yep. Is there anything else to come before the park board for new business? Other than that, I'll take a note here to accept a check from William H. Mayer Successor Trust, in the amount of $1,515.95, and then I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I will
Is there a second?
Yes.
All right. All those in favor?
Aye.
Meeting adjourned. Thank you.